What is up, everybody? What is up? Sorry, sorry, I got a little bit carried away with the music, but you got to have like some waiting time when you're doing shows like these. I won't be on here as long. I'm gonna say maybe like at least hour and 30 minutes, so around like maybe let's say around like probably like 9 o'clock or around like almost close to 9 o'clock. I'll probably sign out here. But we got a lot to talk about. But what is up, John L. Jackson? Got two people watching the stream. What is up? What's good, Mason? Oh, what is up, Prince Sean? What is up, everybody? What is up? I know you guys are wondering where Spotlight D is in a meeting, so he might be in, he might not. But you know, it's all good. Because remember, it's still my show. Man, my voice is changing, bro. Puberty, dude. What is up, Curvin? My voice is changing. Bro, oh man, but hit that like button, guys. Hit the like button. The like button got 8. My voice is probably from too much yelling, or you're probably getting sick there, buddy. Hot water or cough drops or tea can literally help when your voice is gone. We got a lot to talk about when it comes to wrestling, and I know a lot of you. I got a lot to say here. We're gonna do We're gonna do a recap of Backlash, but not really all of Backlash. Only the matches that were important. Mostly the greatest match ever. The greatest match ever. Then we're also gonna be talking about the not only the greatest match ever, but we're also gonna talk about the WWE Championship match. We're also gonna talk about Braun Strowman. We're gonna talk about AJ Styles. We're gonna talk about Matt Riddle. We got a lot of news. Also, this is an anniversary of a video that I've done about Paige and about, I don't know, you can find this here on the MalcGoolie channel when an idiotic fan tried to throw a pie in the face of Paige. Just yeah, that is the anniversary of that. Also, we're going to be talking about who won this week. Watch both shows. Who won this week? I don't think the Orton and Edge match was good. Oh wow. I think it was a really good match. But what we're going to be talking about with that match is like, is it really considered to many of you or to myself or D the greatest match ever in the history of the WWE? Well, in the history of the WWE, I won't even put it as a second. I mean, some people have put it as a second. It's probably maybe top 5, probably like around number 5, or better yet, it could be just number 10. It was amazing. Oh, okay. Yeah, my like at least like top 10 from the sports network. So yeah, it's, just seriously, like, I don't know, like we'll talk about it. And also, do you guys want to know my opinion on who won last night and the NXT AEW war, the Wednesday Night War? Last week I gave it to NXT. NXT was right to the point. It was right after NXT in Your House. They did some twists and turns. There was more like the serious aspect of wrestling. Unlike AEW, I mean, there were some serious moments, but it also got watered down with like Orange Cassidy getting busted open by oranges. The FTR putting on a sloppy match. There was a lot of sloppiness from AEW last week. So, after watching both shows, before we continue, I want to know, everybody in the chat, I want to know, in your honest, humble opinion, what show to you stuck out the most? Like, which show do you feel that was so, was the show? Like, literally, like, the show. Like, what was better, NXT or AEW? And then I will literally tell you what show to me. Yeah, don't be shy in the comments section. Also, we're gonna have a little bit of issues too with the internet. All right, hold on, give me a second. Okay, I'm looking at myself on the thing. Um, am I still like laggy? Sports Network said NXT. Prince Sean said NXT because the triple threat match made by William Regal. Okay, so we got two NXTs. Two NXTs. Like literally two NXTs. John L. Jackson said NXT. Wow. Yeah, last week, I literally got you're better now. Okay, thank you. AEW wasn't that good this week. Last week I didn't think they were good this week. Jesus, everybody's saying in a landslide at NXT. Kurt Curvin said at NXT next one last night. Um, okay. I don't know where Mason is. I know he was on here. I think that's it. But in my humble opinion, and this is just my opinion here, um, let's talk about. I got three cough drops in my voice, so my voice is gonna feel way better. Um, personally, for me, let's get start to the pros when it comes to NXT. NXT, it got to the point with the Cruiserweight Championship debacle of the heel turn of Santanos Escobar and his two cronies, and literally beating the crap out of Drake Maverick. That is a pro. Sorry, not a con, but that's a pro. That was something good to feud their rivalry to go somewhere where we're going from there. Also another pro. Also another pro, in my humble opinion, with NXT. We gotta talk about like probably like the NXT the I keep on thinking of the NXT, the women's championship match, the tag team titles last night was actually a pretty damn good match. Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Knox actually, hold their own, and I did love the ending of having Io Shirai coming to make the save and literally fighting off Bailey and Sasha. And I have this funny feeling that we might get at SummerSlam, maybe Io Shirai versus Bailey at SummerSlam. If they don't give us Sasha versus Bailey, then your best bet is Io versus Bailey. Orange Cassidy and Juice Robertson tag team. That's coming from the Sports Network. Um, Orange juice. But and also the biggest pro in last night at NXT has to be straight up the triple threat announcement for next week that really got me hyped, and also Crimson Grimes versus Damian Priest is really gonna get me hype. Really gonna get me hype for next week. So I can't wait for that. I'm just saying NXT was good though. Yeah, it was. NXT was good. It was right to the point. It was like some seriousness. There was not like goofiness. So those were the pros from NXT. The bad, I still don't understand what they're doing with Damian Priest. Like, you made him a babyface last week. This week, you're trying to prefer with him being babyface. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even think that him being the babyface will work, in my opinion. I don't really think it will work to me. What's another con I have to put up? Even though I'm a big fan of Dakota Kai, I really wasn't. And Kaden William, Hayden or whatever the other girl's name. I mean, I like both talents, but I don't like the particular story that they're doing. So that's a kind of a con. And the number one con to me, I mean, has to be probably like the beginning on NXT, in my opinion. Like probably like the beginning. Now for AEW, let's get the cons out the way. I know Mason's probably gonna feel some type of way for this, but the guy who took on Cody is number one for me. Like, the match was a botch fest. I didn't really didn't really like it. I mean, I don't know if like the chemistry wasn't there. I mean, yeah, the guy got signed to AEW as predicted. So, I mean, yeah, he's a former NWA television champion, but I don't know anything about him. And a lot of you, some of you, only two of you, I think, only knew who he was. Some of us didn't even know who the hell that dude was. But I was not impressed with. I mean, he could sell. He really sold the Crossroads last night, but to be honest, to me, he really wasn't that great. He really wasn't that great of it really wasn't that good of a great match. That was probably the biggest con for me when it comes to last night's AEW show. That was the biggest one. I mean, I love the idea that Cody Rhodes is going to defend the AEW TNT championship every week. I do love that concept, and I love the concept that him and Jake Hagar are gonna fight at Fyter Fest. Another con that I didn't really like. I will say this for this is just maybe just a little bit of nitpicking, but I wasn't a big fan of what was her name? Sarah Ja, whatever her name was. Like call herself the greatest show. That's probably like a little bit of nitpicking. I do like the fact that she is joining the Dark Order. I do love that fact. And the other biggest and the third con, and this is just another bit of nitpicking from me, just a little tiny bit. What is with FTR trying to do the Shatter Machine on big people? I mean, don't get me wrong, big guys can sell, they can bump your ass off, but the last that's like 2 straight weeks that FTR has tried to do the Shatter Machine on a big guy, and they like don't get the velocity or like the upper body strength to really do it. Personally, for me, you need a little guy or like a medium cut guy who can really sell that move. I don't know why they've been doing it with big guys. I don't get it. I'm pretty sure that what's his name? It's not Connor. Is it Connor Claxton or I can't think of his name. No, it's not Connor Claxton. Allie's boyfriend. Like he's medium cut. Why can't he take the Shattered Machine? I don't understand. Like I don't. But that's just a little bit of nitpicking. The positives. Number 1, Orange Cassidy and Chris Jericho. Number 2, Taz's promo and Brian Cage getting hype for the world title match was number 2. And number 3, the tag team championships. Like the first match on the show was actually pretty good, pretty decent. Even though QT Marshall for me took more of a beating in this match, it's understandable because he's young, but goddamn, they were like literally beating the hell out of him. Was he? Were they? But to make a long story short, who wins this week? The way how I had AEW winning this week because of the ending, but after looking at both shows, that I gotta make it twice, 2 in a row. I gotta agree with the comment section. I know D goes, hey, there you go again. You're not picking AEW. It's like you hate AEW. No, I don't hate AEW. It's just, I'm sorry, NXT had the better show this week. Everything was right to the point. It was good to the point. It was right. It was there. It was just there. It was just there. Just no nonsense. I mean, you can have some nonsense in wrestling, which is fine as long as it doesn't go too far. NXT did it for 2 weeks in a row. So, and they probably might win week number 3 for me if whatever happens in AEW was bad last night. No, it wasn't. It really wasn't. NXT, no nonsense. Everything was right to the point and right to the nitty gritty, and NXT won this week. Say what you will, NXT really won this week for me. So AEW can NXT make it 3 for 3 next week, or AEW breaks its streak and actually give us something. And to be honest, both shows, AEW especially, should be focusing on, the build, because it's going to happen in 2 weeks. Fighter Fest. And Fighter Fest is like a 2 week show. So like July 1st and July 8th. So yeah, I mean, I think that's the purpose. That is the purpose here for AEW right now, for these next 2 weeks. And I believe they will. These next 2 weeks should be just hyping up the show. That is 2-0 this week. Switching gears here. Literally, like, switching gears here. Now let's talk about BacklasH. Now let's talk about BacklasH, and oh my god, like, I'm looking at myself. I'm freezing. Best friends. Alright, guys, sorry about that. Yeah, my internet is literally horrible right now. Okay, I'm looking at myself on my phone, so I'm good. So yeah, like I said, I might not be on here long. So I hope Spotlight's meeting is literally short. But anyway, to be honest though, main event, I enjoyed both main events. AEW got their point across in the main event. Best Friends winning was a good thing. Orange Cassidy beating Jericho was a good thing. It was to hype up their match at Fyter Fest, which I think will be a damn good match. Now NXT on the other hand, I mean, Shotzi Blackheart and Tegan Nox actually put on a pretty good showing for the tag team champions. And I love the fact that Io Shirai fought off Bayley and Sasha Banks. Loved it. But if you were to tell me what was the better main event, in my opinion, God, I want to say a tie so bad. But just by a little, AEW had the better main event. Just by a hair. Because I'm a big Orange Cassidy fan, so I'm a big, huge Orange Cassidy fan. So, yeah. That's probably about just a little bit of hair. So, I'm going to have to go with Orange Cassidy. But moving along here, like I said, NXT won this week, in my opinion. Let's talk about some wrestling news that many of you want to talk about, and that was the recap of BacklasH. The recap of BacklasH. We're going to get to the matches that were the more important. There's only like 3 I'm going to talk about. Well, yeah, just 3 I'm going to be talking about. So, let's talk about Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. After rewatching that match, I think I gave that match a 3. I retract that statement. I will give Sheamus and Jeff Hardy a 4. It was actually a pretty damn solid match. Really hard hitting, and I did like the ending of this match. A lot of people didn't like the fact that Sheamus beat Jeff Hardy. To be honest, but I think it really, if fueled the story. It really fueled the story, what was going to happen in the next couple of weeks, what we're going to be seeing on SmackDown. I think this feud will end at Extreme Rules, and I think it should. I think Jeff Hardy will probably beat Sheamus. Let's say maybe street fight, or you can't do a ladder match. Maybe a table match between Jeff Hardy and Sheamus. I think that would be poetic. Seeing Sheamus going through a table would actually be entertaining. You never know what they'll do. I hope they don't do like a chairs match. Like, no, like do something like in Jeff's element. Maybe like a table match or something like that. But yeah, Jeff Hardy and Sheamus, damn good match. The WWE Championship match between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, they put on a hell of a match at BacklasH, in my opinion. Obviously, this feud is not over with, and I'm actually okay with that. I'm actually okay with another match between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. Now, since this probably might end till Extreme Rules, my biggest thing will be, why not a cage? Like a cage match between Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre. And the reason why I say that is, you're gonna have to have Lana have the last laugh, but it seems like they might not even go that route. With Lana being in a tag team with Natalya. I mean, you can do it, so that way Lana can get her a little bit of revenge on Bobby Lashley and all that, since they filed for the divorce on Monday Night Raw. So it's possible. Drew McIntyre will probably hold that belt. I think he should hold it for a year, but I have this funny feeling he could lose it at SummerSlam. Whoever they decide to let, as long as it's not Brock. But yeah, I'm gonna have to go with there. And now we got to talk about Edge and Orton. The last one has to be Edge and Orton. Edge and Orton tore the house down. It was a really great match. But for them to literally book it as the greatest match of all time is a little bit of a stretch. Was it a damn good match? You damn right it was. Was it a 5-star match? You damn right it was. But is it the greatest match of all time? No, the hell it's not. There are so many other matches that WWE has produced that can literally take the cake for greatest match. Like The Undertaker and Edge. Undertaker and Edge, considered to many others being the greatest match of all time. Like, literally, like, the greatest match of all time. And there's nothing wrong with it. There is nothing wrong with it. Like, Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. Sorry, not Undertaker and Edge. I think I said Undertaker and Edge. Undertaker and HBK. WrestleMania 25. That is the match. A lot of people say that is the greatest match of all time. And you know what? They're not wrong. It was the match. The build was great. The match was wonderful. It had me on the edge of my seat so many times. Even when I watched that match, to this day, I still be on the edge of my seat. Yeah, and I agree with that, John L. with that, John L. The reason, to get people invested. And they got me invested. Like, the promo work was great. Like, the story that they said in the ring was great. There was nothing wrong with this show. There was nothing wrong with the show. What is up, Spotlight Raider Talk? He said that I'm about to come on, bro. I'll be on there. All right, so D will be on in any minute. So, but yeah, and that's just my opinion. I mean, and you know, John L, you're right. It kept me invested. But I wouldn't even call it as the greatest match of all time. I mean, okay. In WWE mind, like if I was to make a list of the greatest match, it would probably be a top 10, maybe top 15. Because there's so many other matches. You have Undertaker and HBK. You have TLC. You have, TLC 2. You have Michaels and HBK. Hell, The Undertaker and Triple H. Hell in a Cell. The End of an Era. There's so many others. Hell, how about this one? Here's one. Stone Cold and Bret Hart. And Curvin said it best. Curvin said it best. I take Stone Cold versus Bret Hart for WrestleMania. Here's another one that nobody really talks about. What about The Rock and Mankind? I Quit match for the WWE title. My God, like, can that be considered one of the greatest matches? I mean, Rock and Foley. Hell, the Hell in a Cell match, The Undertaker and Kane. I mean, The Undertaker and Mankind. You have hell, Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker at Hell in a Cell. There's so many other matches you can say that could be the greatest of all time. What about Randy Savage versus Crush at Mania Falls Count Anywhere? I wouldn't consider that as one of the greatest matches. It was a good story, but not one of the greatest matches. Not even The Rock and Mankind's Empty Arena match. No, I mean, that match cannot touch the I Quit match. Eddie Guerrero and Brock. Yeah, Eddie Guerrero and Brock. The Rock in WrestleMania 17 or 19. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I know it's lagging because the internet. I don't know why the internet. That's why I really hope D can hurry up in here because I don't know what's going on with my internet. But anyway, somebody said the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam. Oh, wait a minute, Royal Rumble or SummerSlam for what? What match? What match? You mean Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar? The SummerSlam match can no. I mean, the SummerSlam match was good, but it cannot touch the one from Mania. Undertaker, no, John Cena versus AJ Styles. Oh, you mean the Royal Rumble or SummerSlam? I think the Royal Rumble match was really good, but that's a. How about this one? Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Hell in a Cell. You can even put the SummerSlam match on there. I think their Hell in a Cell match was the one. I mean, I think that match was what, almost 50 minutes. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of Triple H winning that match, because I think Shawn. I don't think Shawn only got the better of Hunter twice. The one on Raw for the World Heavyweight title, and I believe the other one was I can't think of it. The one on what else? He beat him at SummerSlam. Then he beat him on Raw, like the night before the like the Royal Rumble or something like that. It's something like, in my opinion. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't think of the name. I cannot think of the name. I don't know what show it was, but I know it was on Raw. What about Shawn Michaels and Hunter, Three Stages of Hell? The Three Stages of Hell match was good, but personally, A part of me did not want Triple H to win that match, but I'm not gonna fault it because some person won or lost. But I don't know. The Hell in a Cell match is it's the better one to me. I'm watching one of the Macho Man's promos. Oh, you mean when he took on Crush? That was a damn good promo. Macho Man Randy Savage, Ricky Steamboat, or was that the match? Yeah, Ricky Steamboat and Macho Man. Like, let's talk about that match. That match was pretty damn good. Here's another match that nobody brings up, and it was on WrestleMania 10. Why not Bret the Hitman Hart, which is probably considered to this day the greatest opening match for a WrestleMania in history. Just think about that. The greatest opening match to a WrestleMania in WrestleMania history. I'm talking about brother versus brother. Owen Hart versus Bret Hart. That match, watch that match. Go on the WWE Network. Go to WrestleMania 10. Watch that match from the beginning to the end. A lot of people have considered, and I'm probably going to be one of those people. I'm in the bandwagon or sipping the Kool-Aid. Bret Hart and Owen Hart tore the show like at WrestleMania 10. It is probably the greatest match. The greatest opening match to WrestleMania. And you know what? I'm so glad. Hopefully that the freaking... Hold on. WrestleMania memories. Okay, give me a second. Okay, I'm going to watch both matches, SummerSlam and Mania. For who? For who? You guys got to let me know for who, guys. All right, wait a minute, because I don't want to get copyright for the songs, because WWE can be a cruel mistress.
Sweet redemption. We're on to WrestleMania 10 now. A full year had passed since that debacle at WrestleMania 9, and things for me as a fan got a lot better around this time because of my love for Bret Hart. This WrestleMania is easily in my top 3 favorites of all time, along with WrestleMania 3 and probably WrestleMania 17. And it took place at a really, really down time in the WWE's past. Attendance and interest in the WWE product and professional wrestling was extremely down. If you remember, around this time during Monday Night Raw, the crowds would be unbelievably tiny. I mean, the attendance would range in the hundreds, not thousands. I mean, it was really small. I remember going to a couple of house shows around this time as well, and the crowds were super small, and if they were in a large arena, a lot of times the crowd would only fill the floor, and that was it. So the fact that WWE, I feel, pulled off a great WrestleMania during a time when interest in WWE was not that high, I think is a great credit to them and a great credit to some of the great wrestlers they had on their roster. I mean, if you think about it, if everybody was to list their top 10 WrestleMania matches of all time, 2 of them would probably come from this show. At least for me, they would. They were back in Madison Square Garden where it all began 10 years after this whole idea of WrestleMania had first started. And I thought the show looked great, the way they packed all those fans into MSG. Like
I'm trying to get to the point where he talks about Bret and Owens, so give me a second. If you guys want to look at the video, listen to the video, or watch the video that I'm watching, look up Good Mic Work WrestleMania Memories. That video is 6 hours long, but it will make you cry. I cry every time when I watch this because there are so many memories of WrestleMania. For me, it started from WrestleMania 14 because I remember my cousins. Like I said, I watched WrestleMania in 99, but my cousins filled me in around with 97 and 98. So, yeah, so I'm not too far. And but personally for me, I think one of my favorite WrestleManias is WrestleMania 17. 12 can be considered a good one too.
In fall of 1993, that's why Shawn Hart finish where they both went over the top rope, and instead of restarting the match, they just declared them both the winner. Lex Luger, months out, was planned to win the title at WrestleMania 10 from Blue opportunity to do that, but because that was the match they gave us to open the
All right, here we
so
go.
he gets the title match against Yokozuna in the middle of the card.
Here we go.
While Bret Hart now needs to have a match under his belt. And since they just had the split with him and his brother, that was the match they gave us to open up WrestleMania. Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. The beginning, really, of what would be an awesome rivalry between the two. Owen Hart, huge underdog, had really not made that many waves in the WWE since being there. He was a flop as the Blue Blazer, came back in tag teams with Jim Neidhart and Coco Beware, but never really did a whole lot in the WWE and wasn't really noticeable. He was probably a lower to mid-card guy at best. And finally, when WWE, I think, needed a little bit more talent and wanted Bret Hart to work with a family member, he said Owen is the guy to do it with. And Owen did a great job turning heel. And who would have thought, you know, Owen with his bright outfits and his silly-ass music and the way he seems so happy and jolly on television would turn out to be such a great heel the way he was. A jealous brother, all of the things that he said and did and the way he pulled it off was brilliant. And then the match, oh my God, you talk about a work of art. This match was wrestling porn. Unbelievable match, one of my favorites of all time in the WWE. You didn't need blood, you didn't need a whole lot of crazy spots. All you needed was a good in-ring story. It went about 20 minutes. The mat wrestling was off the hook. Great near falls, submissions, reversals. This match had everything. And then the finish with Bret Hart going for a victory roll, a move that he's won a lot of matches with, including the King of the Ring final against Bam Bam Bigelow about a year before, goes for that move on Owen. Owen steps into it, collapses on top of Bret Hart, and actually gets the 3 count on his brother in one of the biggest upsets, I think, in WrestleMania history. What a perfect and brilliant way to launch Owen Hart into the spotlight after being
And then
pretty
they
much
had the
a
rematch
nobody
at
in
SummerSlam
WWE overnight.
that you guys
In the
really
course
need
of
to
one
watch.
match, he
That was
becomes
a damn
main
good
eventer.
match too.
WWE
Bret
also
and
promised
Owen,
2 special
man.
guest referees for both of the title matches. And in the Lex Luger-Yokozuna match, it turned out to be Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect had left the WWE for unknown reasons, I don't even know why, a few months before. He was now back.
But yeah, if you want to watch WrestleMania 10 for yourself, just to watch that match. But yeah. But just to literally talk about it. I mean, some of these matches are really, really good. You gotta consider the fact that some of these matches, like, are very, very spot on. Like, literally spot on. And you cannot have that same magic. I mean, Orton and Edge, I mean, oh God, I mean, yeah. That to chime, Mr. Perfect and the Brett brothers. You mean the Hart brothers? Never. Oh, Brett's brothers. Oh, that's a crime that Mr. Perfect and Owen Davey never won a championship, WWE championship. I will agree. It's a shame. I wouldn't say a crime, but it's a little bit of a shame that they didn't win a world title in the WWE. I'm pretty sure, in my opinion, if Owen Hart was still around and still here with us today, I'm pretty sure WWE would have put the WWE title on Owen Hart. I say probably around like in 1999, at least somewhere, 99 or 2002, or hell, maybe 2003, because good God, they love to freaking drag it on. I'm pretty sure Owen would be one of those guys. Like, would be one of those guys to literally been a world champion. But that's just me. It's just how I think, and that's just how, like, what everybody else's think. But yeah, for it to be considered one of the greatest greatest matches of all time is just it was what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to get you invested. But, you know, that's like kind of calling it a stretch. It's literally a stretch calling it the greatest match of all time. Mouse Skate 4 guy. I'm not a big fan of the Skate series. That's just me. Yeah, that's just me. That's just me in a nutshell when it comes to the greatest matches in all of wrestling. Like, I mean, if you want to put Edge and Orton on there, you can, but at the same time, it's like, well, goddamn, I'm like, to be considered the greatest match, though. But yeah, also, according to what I'm hearing on, like, this, just to change subject, let's go to talk about AJ Styles for a minute. About AJ Styles. Of course, and you got to give it up to the WWE last week. You got to give it up to them. They gave us count them, two great wrestling matches in over a week. I mean, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan was great, and then you had Edge and Orton. But I'm happy AJ Styles is the Intercontinental Champion. I'm not second downing it. I really think AJ would have a great, phenomenal run, no pun intended, with the Intercontinental title. But the question is, and I think everybody needs to literally think this one over. A lot of you guys want to see Matt Riddle and AJ Styles for SummerSlam. Yes, that is a SummerSlam match, but I feel that is too early, in my opinion. Well, Matt Riddle will be making his debut tomorrow on SmackDown, but in my opinion, I don't really want AJ Styles and Matt Riddle, at least not yet. Yes, that it does scream out a SummerSlam match, but why not wait to put the belt on? I don't think WWE is going to waste any time putting a title belt on Matt Riddle as Intercontinental Champion. I mean, but AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan, the problem was too many commercials. Yeah, you can say too many commercials, but they still pull off a hell of a match. Personally, to be honest with you, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, they need one more match at Extreme Rules. And I don't know about you guys, but personally for me, I would love the stipulation for this match, because they both can literally can do groundwork, and they can do their high flying shtick. But the one match I would really love to see AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan in, call me crazy, call me what you want, but I want that match to be a submission match. Hear me out. The Calf Crusher versus the Yes Lock. I literally would love to see a submission match for the Intercontinental Championship at Extreme Rules. I mean, if you think that AJ and Daniel Bryan can give you a hell of a match on free TV, there's no telling what they can do if they had a stipulation where the only way to win if you make your opponent submit. So yeah, I would not mind a submission match between AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan at Extreme Rules. That would be a phenomenal match, no pun intended. And I would think it would literally be probably maybe match of the year. Match of the year. I mean, well, obviously Edge and Orton could be considered match of the year for what we had so far this year. But yeah, I mean, there's like so many that you can literally put in for this. Literally in for this, in my opinion. And that's just how, and that's how it is. That's just how things go, and that's how it is, in my opinion.
What up?
What's up, D? What is up? He's here. What's up, Shark
Just give me a
Zone?
second. I have to get this green screen off real quick. There's all this black stuff in the back.
Does Daniel Bryan supposed to be? Is Daniel Bryan supposed to be leaving in August? I don't think Daniel's gonna leave WWE.
Is that even a rumor? For real?
I don't even know. That's the first time I've heard it. What is up, Shark Zone? But yeah, but that's just my D. I was going over NXT, AEW. I think I just went over a little bit the recap of the greatest match ever. So now I'm to the point with AJ Styles and Matt Riddle. A lot of people want to see this for SummerSlam. Personally, for me, I think it's too early to do it. I think you should do it at either Survivor Series or TLC. Why not build up Matt Riddle a little bit? Why not? I mean, we all know what Matt Riddle can do in that ring, but let him take on little opponents first, like Sheamus, Baron Corbin, before he gets to take on AJ Styles.
Well,
Just don't put him in the IC title hunt like that.
Yeah, you just can't throw him in the IC title hunt. He has to actually build his resume before he goes into that. I know it's an echo, so I'm gonna mute myself every time we talk.
So, but yeah, that's just how I feel. I mean, AJ Styles. But like I said, and D, would you like to see this for Extreme Rules? Because we're gonna be talking about some matches that could be happening at Extreme Rules, and this is definitely gonna happen at Extreme Rules, in my opinion. AJ Styles defending the Intercontinental Championship against Daniel Bryan, and I would love for the stipulation to be a submission match.
Yeah, I would love for it to be a submission match, don't get me wrong. But they have so much other ability than just a submission. I think it should be best out of 3.
Best 2 out of 3 falls wouldn't be bad, but what if they brought back an Iron Man match? I mean, because they tore the house down last Friday night.
I can see it for AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan doing an Iron Man match for the IC title. I can see that.
But yeah, but for Matt Riddle, guys, it's too early. Build him up. Just build him up. We all know what he does in NXT. He's the original bro. We get it. Just build him up before you throw him into the Lions. That's what they did with Shinsuke Nakamura when he took on, what's his name, Jinder Mahal. They just threw him into the Lions.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Shinsuke's fault. It was just the fact that WWE was putting their eggs in one basket with Jinder Mahal of all freaking people.
Which is true, but I feel like that pushed Shinsuke a little bit too fast on the main roster. He really couldn't feud with anybody before he got a title shot.
I think the best feud that man has ever had is with AJ Styles.
It was. That was his best feud, and after that...
That was his best feud. It was AJ.
It hasn't been the same since.
What about Drew Gulak defeat AJ Styles 2 weeks ago? Now, you can do Drew Gulak versus AJ. Now,
you can throw that in as a triple threat as well, because that's part of the IC division.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, well, yeah, Daniel, because, Brie Bella is due in August. New baby. So, yeah, Daniel might be taking time off. Have to take my jacket off a little bit. Getting a little bit hot in this room, so that means we're in the hot zone, because we're talking about Extreme Rules. We're in the hot zone. What's another match I would love to see at Extreme Rules? This is personally my opinion, because what happened on Raw was a freaking travesty. Nia Jax versus Asuka, Falls Count Anywhere. Falls Count Anywhere.
I can see it happening, but...
After what happened on Raw, Nia Jax got screwed. She got... Did you see Raw where she got fast counted on Raw?
No.
So she pushed the referee...
I just didn't like the double count out anyway for...
On Backlash.
Yeah, at Backlash. I didn't like that.
So they have the rematch on Raw. Nia is, dominating. But then, she's breaking the rules. The referee is, telling Nia to stop. Nia pushes the referee down. And the referee's like, no, screw that. I'm disqualifying you. Here comes Asuka with a schoolboy. And then the referee turns his back and literally fast counts Nia Jax's shoulders down. Nia looks at the referee like she's about to kill the referee. So, yeah, this is not over.
I mean, I don't say she got screwed. She kind of did that to herself.
But still, at the end of the day, though, if you're a referee, your job is to what? Be impartial, right?
Yeah, but
that's like
that wrestler put the hands on the referee.
That's true. Now that's when the match should have stopped then. But for you, the referee, to take it upon yourself after seeing Asuka in a schoolboy, put her in a schoolboy, and then you madly count 3 that fast.
What we've seen is so many year after year. Like, if you initiate a contact with the referee and he doesn't disqualify you, he's going to screw you. That's exactly what happened.
And but yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm saying, in my opinion, with that information I just gave you, does Nia have a right to get another shot for the Raw Women's title? Even though she won't win it, because it's going to be probably like Falls Count Anywhere. She won't win it.
I mean, but I feel like it's time for other women to get a shot.
I think after Asuka, because remember, the money match is Charlotte versus Asuka. That is our match at SummerSlam. Hands down.
Right, it is.
It's our match at SummerSlam. And this should be the match D, I know you love Charlotte, but this should be the match where Asuka finally beats Asuka. You can't, like, pull this off any longer. It would be nice for them to actually redeem themselves for what happened at WrestleMania a couple of years ago.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
So, yeah, I mean, but yeah. Also, Sami Zayn comes back. Oh, when Sami Zayn comes back, he kind of lost the title, though. Now, I do believe if Sami Zayn does come back, here's what I feel, and this is just me. I love him as a heel, don't get me wrong, but I miss him as a babyface. I miss him as a babyface.
He's whack as a heel. He is terrible as a heel.
I miss him as a babyface because he's like the underdog from the underground or something like that. I think that was the gimmick. And I loved it so much. And he does have a gripe. He didn't really lose the IC title. He had to give it up because he was in quarantine. So, yeah, you got a legitimate gripe. But, yeah, there's no way AJ's losing that belt. AJ's going to have a long reign with that
if
title.
he does come back around the time SummerSlam comes, I can see a fatal 4-way.
Yeah, that can happen. We're probably going to get Bayley and Sasha at Extreme Rules. No, we're not getting Bayley and Sasha at Extreme Rules. I have a feeling that we're going to get the Iconics and Bayley and Sasha at Extreme Rules. And to be honest, though, after what I saw in NXT yesterday, it seems like WWE's going to put their eggs in a basket here. If they don't do Sasha versus Bayley at SummerSlam, then they might do Io Shirai versus Bayley at SummerSlam. After what I saw.
What, champion versus champion?
Champion versus champion. Why not put the SmackDown title? Now, can you imagine if in NXT, if Io Shirai not only hold the NXT women's, but the SmackDown women's title? How would that work? She would have to literally jump from NXT to SmackDown like almost every week until losing the SmackDown title.
They're going to have to change the name of the title.
Because I would love that. Also, because their reign as tag team is going to end. I don't think it's going to end at Extreme Rules, but I don't think it's going to end on Monday Night Raw. That's just my opinion.
The Universal Women's title is what they're going to call it?
Oh, God, no. Please don't. What's another match? Bobby Lashley and Drew McIntyre, even though they haven't announced any matches yet for Extreme Rules, in my opinion, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley, that match should be in a cage. That match should be in a cage. And here's why. It's the only way to end that storyline with Lana. That's the only way to end it. Lana screws over Bobby Lashley. Even though they are kind of getting a divorce on Raw. They did that segment on Raw. And also it seems like they're also going to do a tag team between Natalya and Lana. And then also the other rumor is they're going to add Zelina Vega onto it. I don't know how I feel about it.
Seriously? That's terrible.
I mean, Natalya has turned heel, and it happened on Raw. Zelina Vega's getting fed up with Andrade and Angel Garza, so I have a feeling she's going to literally defect from that group. So, like a 3-woman... Oh, my God. The last time we had a 3-woman group. We had the Vince's Devils. Good God, that was... actually, no. The Vince Devils were actually good because I love Victoria. I love Tori Wilson. And I love Candice Michelle. But I'm talking about the one that really didn't sell for me. PMS. Does anybody remember that gimmick? With Terry Reynolds, Meat, and Jacqueline.
Horrible.
God, and I love... Jacqueline and Terry Reynolds, but why did you have to call it PMS? Ooh. It was the Attitude Era, folks. It was a weird time. It was a weird time in the Attitude Era.
It was terrible in the Attitude Era, like with that name. PMS.
Like, Meat was what, their sex slave?
Yeah.
God. Have them fight somebody from NXT. I don't want to see the same people. Okay, now I agree with that. Because Tegan Knox and Shotzi Blackheart brought it to Bayley and Sasha yesterday. They took it to them.
I'm gonna be honest with you. It might be shocking. It might be shocking of me seeing this.
What?
But if she could put on a match with Charlotte, I think Rhea Ripley can go to SmackDown and beat Bayley.
I wouldn't mind seeing that happening.
No, not just seeing it happen. I can see Rhea Ripley beating Bailey for the SmackDown Women's title.
If they don't do the Sasha versus Bailey program. So you can... Okay, yeah, I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind. I would love it. What's another... They're trying to make another women's shield. No female shield. Stop it. The shield is dead. It is dead. It is dead and it is buried. Literally. Jon Moxley's... I don't think Moxley will ever come back to WWE after how he was treated. So the only thing you could do is Seth and Roman, but I don't even know. Seth and Roman, personally to me, they don't really... They do have chemistry, but they don't have like the badass chemistry that Moxley and Roman had.
But if they did put a women's shield together, who would it be?
Okay, first off, Tamina. Number one. Number two, everybody will freaking hate me for this and hunt me down like a dog in the street. Nia Jax. Or okay, how about an NXT person? You gotta have... Okay, okay, let's be real. Tamina is more likely the strength. So you're gonna have to find the speedster. Why not have Naomi? If she gets out the dancing gimmick, even though I love the glow-in-the-dark gimmick, and then you're going to have the calculate, the all-around wrestler. And that's where it gets a little bit like, you could do Charlotte, but Charlotte's not taking off a goddamn road.
Yeah, Charlotte's not taking that character. That's out.
She ain't taking that character. You could say Becky Lynch. No. You could say Becky.
You could. Yeah.
But she's the man, so like the man doesn't need any help. The man doesn't have any friends. That's what we're going with.
So so Becky Lynch would be the Roman Reigns of the Shield.
The Roman Reigns of the Shield. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't compare Becky and Roman. You just compared Becky and Roman. Shouldn't that be a wrestling sin? 5,000 sins.
I mean, we talking about a female Shield, and
God, we
calls
don't...
herself the man, and Roman Reigns calls himself the big dog.
Oh, my God. Also, D, I said this one earlier. It seems like Sheamus and Jeff Hardy's feud is still going to continue on to Extreme Rules. I said the stipulation should be... Oh, God. Curvin said Bianca Belair. There's something for Bianca to do. It gets her out of that Sasha stuff.
I gotta see Bianca Belair as a badass.
But, what was I saying? Okay. I said the stipulation between Jeff and Sheamus should be... It should not be a ladder, but it should be like a table match. Somewhere around like a table. At least a table. You could do street fight, but...
Jeff Hardy ain't gonna be able to last.
I mean, it has to be... Well, shoot, Jeff literally had a good match with Sheamus. I rewatched that match, and that was actually a damn good match. Sheamus and Hardy at Backlash. That was actually pretty damn good. I retracted. I said I gave it a 3. I gave it a 4. It's that damn good to me. What's another match? It seems like... Oh, yeah. Bray Wyatt comes back as the Fiend tomorrow. The Firefly Funhouse is back. Thank God. Because I missed that show so much. It seems like we're going to get Braun versus the Fiend. And I have a feeling this is the match that should be Extreme Rules. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to be Extreme Rules. I mean, you can't do a normal one-on-one match with this. Now, the question is, how will Braun keep the Fiend down? That's what I want to know.
The question is, why are you calling it Extreme Rules and every match is not extreme? I'm lost.
Oh, you mean, wait, from the pay-per-view standpoint, or just like all the matches that I've named? Like a table match, submission match.
Yeah, I think every
Boss
match,
count anywhere.
I think every match should be some type of extreme match. If you're going to call it Extreme Rules, make it extreme.
They used to do that back in the day. And now it's like only like the 2 big title matches, or just one match in particular is an Extreme Rules match. And I'm like, wait a minute. What was the point? That's just like tables, ladders, and chairs. At first, I hated the name TLC, but at the same time, TLC is starting to become one of my favorite pay-per-views because people say, "Oh, don't watch WWE in December. It's bad."
That's why I hate that Money in the Bank is actually a pay-per-view because every match can't beat Money in the Bank. I just hate it. I just think we should go back to having Money in the Bank at WrestleMania.
I agree with John L. Jackson saying when everybody found out Becky Lynch was pregnant, she picked the worst time to get pregnant. You can't say she picked the worst time to get pregnant, but the one thing I think what you're trying to say is with Becky not being there, who can really carry that women's division? That is the question. I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Throwing him the lead Tron and pinning him. What's another? Yeah, Sheamus versus not Sheamus. Jesus, Bray Wyatt versus the Fiend, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman Extreme Rules. That's probably going to be the main event. The Universal title should not be the main event. The only thing, if the Universal title is the main event, and if it's like a steel cage in my mind, somebody's coming back. Either, and a lot of people have said Brock Lesnar, and oh my god, I don't want Brock coming back. Like, Brock can stay where he is. He lives in Canada. Isn't Canada in quarantine? Brock Lesnar can stay where he is. I want Brock to stay where he is. I don't want him at Extreme Rules. You did that last year, and it pissed a lot of people off when he cashed it in on Seth Rollins. I was pissed, like many others, when Brock cashed it in on Seth. Oh, God. Like, why? Why? I don't want to see Brock. Tired of Brock. Like, Brock can take a year off from wrestling. Because he deserves a year off. Like, seriously, he could take a year off. A year off. I don't want Brock to come back. But there's been rumors that Brock will come back at the end of McIntyre and Lashley's match. And I promise you I will freaking scream if Brock comes back. I don't want Brock coming back. You did this last year at Extreme Rules, and it pissed everybody off.
Why would we want Brock to come back?
I don't want him to come back. I was so pissed last year when Brock won. I was pissed last year when Brock won Money in the Bank last year. I was pissed when he cashed it in. And he only hold it for a month, but a month is too long. Now WB, oh yeah, we gotta talk about this. Mustafa Ali got moved to Raw. Well, there goes your career.
Raw ruins everybody's career.
God. I remember Edge saying that, like when he was like when I came back from injury around like 2004, they said, "Hey, we're gonna move you on to Raw," and I was like, "Ugh," because he said that Raw was more talking. He said, "I'd rather wrestle than talk." I'm sorry, like SmackDown was more like the wrestling show, while Raw was the talking show.
I'll be back.
Yeah, it's got to be Punk now. Yeah, or now if you do the Hacker, if the Hacker is not Mustafa Ali, since you moved Mustafa Ali to Raw, then the Hacker has to be revealed at SummerSlam, and it has to be a big name. You cannot, I repeat, you cannot literally have some type of person like Chad Gable to make his debut at SummerSlam. You do, everybody is going to flip. Everyone's going to flip. Then everybody's going to hate it. Yeah, it's got to be Punk now. I think they went into SummerSlam to do Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. It's possible, but if Roman does not come back, like literally come back, like if Roman does not come back at all, like, and he takes like a year off, or better yet, like maybe to the point, like maybe the pandemic moves on a little bit or gets clear a little bit, I can see Roman coming back facing Braun at SummerSlam. Now, I don't see him winning the title, but I can damn sure say this. If they do Braun versus Bray at SummerSlam, I wouldn't mind it, but at the same time, it's like, here's the thing. It's not Braun's fault. I'm not blaming Braun's title reign. Like, so far, I'm not saying it hasn't been working, but Braun has been a good champion, but he just hasn't had, like, the one match that will say, damn, that was a good Universal Championship match with Braun Strowman as champion. I mean, he's defended it against Bray Wyatt. Against Bray Wyatt, who dressed like Mr. Rogers. Then he faced off against Miz and Morrison. Those are two not really big idol threats. The Fiend, an idol threat. Roman Reigns, an idol threat. Sheamus, an idol threat. Okay, you saw Tamina's new gimmick. Put her as Bray Wyatt. Oh God, no. Can Tamina even cut that type of promo? Yeah, and now, you know what? Now that Mustafa Ali's on Raw, I have a feeling, I don't know, but let me fill D in. So since Mustafa Ali is on Raw, that hacker gimmick is still around. Now, all bets are off. If you do it at SummerSlam, this hacker thing, it has to be a legend or somebody that's coming back that hasn't been seen in the company and God knows where. And if it is CM Punk, SummerSlam will be a hell of a way to do it. If you do like Chad Gable or somebody like that, the story will bomb. Everyone will hate it. What if we get Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker in the Hell in the Cell match at SummerSlam?
Not happening.
There's been rumors.
I don't see that happening.
That Shane will be coming back. That Shane is coming back. A lot of people, I don't know how you guys felt about Shane. Personally, I was happy when Shane came back. I will admit that when they split the got rid of the GMs, we saw a little bit too much of Shane McMahon. And I mean, and then and also having him win the Best in the World tournament. The best in the world, Shane McMahon. Like that. Oh, God. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Kevin Owens, for that. The best in the world. God. That's just bad. That is, like, literally bad. Like, it is bad. Bad. Yeah, Shane McMahon versus Undertaker, no. But Tamina. Tamina. Now, who else? Okay, so now let's switch subjects. We already talked about the Backlash recap. Well, I did. I already said the winner of NXT and AEW for this week. We talked about Matt Riddle and AJ Styles.
Who did you pick, AEW or NXT?
I'm going to let you know right now, AEW had some goofy moments, but they had some serious moments. NXT was like straight to the point. They went straight to the point. I picked NXT because they went through
like every week. You never pick AEW.
Like I said earlier in the video, I said in the live stream, I said number one, I don't hate AEW. Just because I don't pick AEW doesn't mean I hate AEW. It's just that AEW has like some little goofy moments here and there. NXT went straight to the point like they did last week. So next week they got 3 matches that got me hyped. Number one, we're getting a triple threat match for the North American Championship. Keith Lee, Finn Balor, Johnny Gargano, and the winner of that match will take on Adam Cole July 8th, and it's champion versus champion, but here's the best part. Winner take all. They're gonna
So,
winner take all.
out of the North America and NXT, wow.
Both belts will be on the line on July 8th.
And that would be with Keith Lee, right? If Keith Lee
Next week, Keith Lee. If Keith Lee was if Keith Lee, hold on, let me mute you. if Keith Lee retains the title, he faces Adam Cole, and not only defends his North American title, Adam Cole has to defend his world title. Whoever wins that match, it's winner take all. Winner take all. You get both belts. I mean, now the possibility, there's no way Gargano's winning this match. No, Gargano's not winning this match. So your best effort here is either Finn Balor or Keith Lee. I'm saying Keith Lee here. I mean, Finn, cool, but Keith Lee, bask in his glory. Oh, bask in his glory.
Goolie, was you able to get the channel for Impact or no?
No, I don't have it. At all. Xfinity does not have it here in Indy. They do not have that channel.
So even though that you don't have the channel, if you can get a chance to watch it online,
I could get to watch it on YouTube, like clips.
I'm gonna see on Tuesday to see if they have like a live stream going on, and I can send you the link because I'd like for you to cover Impact Wrestling as well.
I wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind pushing back Saturday for Dragon Gate. What matches were announced for AEW next week? They really didn't say. To be honest, unless I literally went over it, but they talked about Fyter Fest, and Fyter Fest's card is looking damn good. You got Jon Moxley and Brian Cage. That's going to be good for the AEW World Heavyweight title. You have Best Friends versus Omega and Adam Hangman Page. Then you have Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho. Then you have Jake Hagar versus Cody Rhodes for the TNT Championship. And then also you have Penelope Ford versus the AEW Women's Champion. I mean, so far, Fyter Fest's card for these 2 weeks, July 1st and July 8th, are not looking bad. Now, like I said, I challenge AEW to drop the goofiness like yesterday, even though it was kind of funny goofiness, even though I didn't put it as a con. They put Dr. Britt Baker in the trash can yesterday, which was hilarious. It was hilarious. And I love the fact that she had like a banana peel on her head and she didn't even try her best to remove the damn thing. Because I guess Britt Baker is on a feud with Big Swole. So, yeah. But like AEW, I mean, I picked NXT for the second week in a row when we do this show. Because NXT went straight to the point. The women's tag team match for the tag team titles was actually really good. I mean, shoot. Hell, not to be outdone, AEW's first match was really good as hell, too. NXT, the reason why they made the triple threat match and no match for July 8th triple threat. To take on with Fyter Fest. But if you're NXT, you're going to have to do more. Because next week is literally the triple threat match for the North American title.
Is that the homegoing match?
For what?
For the AEW. Like, is there when is their event?
The next 2 weeks they're going to be promoting for AEW. They're going to be promoting Fyter Fest for the next 2 weeks.
So it's like in July.
It's like the beginning, July 1st and July 8th.
Okay.
And I will be DVRing both of those shows. And me and D will do picks and predictions. So that means we're going to have to cancel Dragon Gate for Tuesday and Impact for Tuesday. Oh, crap. I just realized something. D and Key in the building are going to have to do it. Because I get my wisdom teeth taken out. Forgot about that. I'm going to be drugged up the whole week. I know D is like, oh my God, I have to hold the Goolie show for a while. Hey, at least I'm letting you do AEW. At least I'm not letting you do WWE.
Let me take a drink on that one.
Dude, it's not a bad thing. At least I'm making you do AEW. At least I'm not making you do Raw.
You are making me do Raw.
Unless Key wants to do Raw.
Key ain't no, damn well.
Or Keith. Okay.
You said the wrong damn person.
Okay, well, what about Tay? Does Tay-Rock work on Monday?
This is what I can do. I can see if I can do an hour, and then Key in the building can do an hour, and we can find somebody else to do a final hour.
And then Gangrene, or have Gangrene do it for an hour.
He's pissed. I don't think so. He's pissed right now about Jamal Adams. He's pissed.
Oh, yeah. That's not a good time to really bring that up. Jamal Adams getting traded. Yeah, that's not something we want
to. He wants to be traded. He's not traded yet.
He wants to be traded? Then I heard he could get traded to the Ravens or the Eagles. Personally, for me, if he goes to the Ravens, that's it. There's no excuse if for the Ravens. But we're not here to talk about football. But just a little bit. I'm going to talk about football just a little bit. If Jamal Adams goes to the Ravens, there's no excuse for the Ravens to A, not winning that division, B, not getting past the first or second round, and 3, not winning the Super Bowl. With that defense and that offense, you kidding me? There's nothing. Keith, if you're watching this, you got big shoes to fill. If they get Jamal Adams, and if they get eliminated, you can't say nothing. Fire Jim Harbaugh. It's time to clean house. And now you're going to have to literally find a QB because Lamar Jackson, as great as he is, can't get past the first round. Sorry.
All I got to throw in here about football related. Jamal Adams come to Las Vegas.
No. I kind of need D already knows how I feel about the Raiders. I don't hate the Raiders, but the Raiders don't have a first round pick next year. That's ours. I kind of need them to be 0-17.
Hell no, that you know
I need them to be a top 5 or top 10 pick. So I'm gonna have to be anti-Raider for the whole season, even though I don't want to. Even though there's like a few people on that team I hate. I hate Spider 2Y Banana Man. That's the only person I really hate out the whole damn group. I just hate the coach, and I really hate the management. That's just me. And
so you don't like Mike Mayock?
I mean, Mike Mayock is good. He is. He's good. But I just don't agree with your owner. I don't like your owner. I don't like Mike Davis. I don't like the fact. Think about this. $10 million per year for 10 years and a stake in ownership. That's the only problem that I have. So basically, with John Gruden have a stake in ownership, he's behind this. He's there.
I'd rather have longevity than keep getting a different coach every year.
Okay, I'll give you that. But I don't know. I just don't know.
You gotta think about Derek Carr went through his 6 years. He went through 4 offensive coordinators and 4 coaches.
That is true. I'm sorry we're talking about football. We're going to have to do a football stream. We haven't done one.
Absolutely.
We haven't done one in so long. Literally so long. I haven't put anybody in the dumpster of trash lately. This dumpster is looking empty. Why don't they just do Sasha Banks' price of the NXT? I can see them doing that. Sasha Banks versus Io Shirai, but they're not gonna take that belt off of Io.
Conor Burke, leave my owner alone. Talk about and his hair. I don't like Mark Davis' hair.
Oh God!
At least his hair looks better than Trump's. I'm sorry.
Okay, we'll give you that. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, you know what? Bringing up his name, unfortunately, you have to bring it up with his name in wrestling because remember, he's in the Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is a joke. The WWE Hall of Fame is a joke. Anyway,
joke.
How do you feel about after 4 years of saying that son of a bitch is not allowed to play if he's not gonna, stand up for the flag? Now you say the motherfucker needs a job, would love a job. He would want him in the.
Stop smoking that crack, Trump.
Nah, man, it ain't crack, man. It ain't crack. We all know what this is about. And I'm not gonna say it because it's gonna be all politics.
Right, we don't want to go that far.
We ain't going that far, but we know what this is all about, Mr. Orange Man. Mr. Orange Man. God, that sounds horrible. I'm mad that I said Mr. Telephone Man and Mr. Orange Man. Now I feel bad. You see what happens?
Something wrong with my Twitter. Every time I do 160 characters, it busy every time.
That's so hilarious that he gets in trouble on Twitter and the Supreme Court judge said that he cannot block people on Twitter. That is amazing. Dang, you run the country and you can't block people on Twitter? That's hilarious to me. Oh my God. That is hilarious. We went through almost everything. Almost everything we need to talk about.
Damn near.
Oh yeah, but D doesn't know this. Saturday, around like maybe 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock, I'm doing a watch party.
For what?
Against the pay-per-view, like I've said so many times, that's the most underrated pay-per-view in the Attitude Era. Fully Loaded 2000. I'm watching the whole show on the WWE Network.
I thought we did that. Like, we covered that already.
I don't know if we covered it on the show. Was looking
I
at
thought
it.
it was part of the Ruthless Aggression versus Attitude Era.
Yeah, but I'm going to be watching the whole show. And a lot of people said that they would love to watch it with me because I've said it's the most underrated. It had an underrated card. It hyped up 3 main events. And it's, to be honest, in my opinion, one of the best but in the middle when the Attitude Era was like, they were just dominating WCW. And that show was just amazing. Then there was also the talk in 2 weeks I would watch the WrestleMania that almost made me stop watching wrestling as a whole because of the ending. WrestleMania 17. And I wouldn't mind if all of us watch WrestleMania 17 because that show... Oh, shoot, I got my finger cut by tape cut. Jesus Christ, Prince Sean. Be careful, bro.
God.
My God. Now, what's another thing everybody wants us to do? There's also one of a talk that everybody wants us to watch. Oh my God, this was an honorable mention. I don't even know if I can handle it. If I can't handle it, then that lets you know D can't handle this. WrestleMania 9. That was an honorable mention.
WrestleMania 17. I do not want to watch WrestleMania 9.
WrestleMania 9 was so freaking bad. It is considered to many wrestling fans as the worst WrestleMania of all time. That is torture. I'm kind of shocked nobody said WCW Bash at the Beach 2000. Oh, crap.
That was
do 10 instead of 9. Oh, now WrestleMania 10? Oh, we'll definitely do WrestleMania 10. WrestleMania 10, like I said earlier in the video, I don't know how D would feel, but this is an honest-to-God fact. The greatest opening match to a WrestleMania ever will always be Bret the Hitman Hart versus Owen Hart. I don't know if D heard me on that, but I think that's the truth.
Say what, Neil?
The greatest opening to a WrestleMania ever, and a lot of fans have agreed, WrestleMania 10, Bret the Hitman Hart versus Owen Hart is considered to be the greatest WrestleMania opening match of all time. Opening. I agree. I've seen the match, and it's woo.
I gotta go back and watch it.
Woo! That's the same WrestleMania that gave us Shawn and Razor, and it also gave us Bret Hart beating Yokozuna. So yeah, WrestleMania 10 is a damn good WrestleMania, in my opinion. Now WrestleMania. No, what's the WrestleMania that happened in Indianapolis? Was it WrestleMania 8? That is one of my favorites. I'm sorry, Macho Man versus Ric Flair.
15 was pretty good too.
15 was alright. 15 was alright.
Pretty good. I'm not saying it's the best, but it was pretty good.
No, it's not the best. The problem with 15, and D, you have to admit, the worst Hell in a Cell match, Undertaker and the Big Boss Man, was terrible. Why was that in a Hell in a Cell? The match really said McMahon versus Taker. What is up, Damian Estrada? Even though this Falls Count Anywhere was good, the WrestleMania 8 Whoa! How can you say WrestleMania 8 was terrible? Okay, if you say the main event was terrible, yeah, Hogan versus Sid was terrible. But Macho Man versus Ric Flair? Are you kidding me? Bret the Hitman Hart versus Roddy Piper for the IC title? Come on now. No, no, no. No, no, no. WrestleMania 21 was great. I would love to do a watch party of WrestleMania 21. Because there's one match in particular that I always got to be quiet for because it has my favorite spot in the whole entire build, and that was when Kurt Angle picking up Shawn Michaels after Shawn Michaels kicked out of an angle slam, and you had Kurt Angle saying, "Why don't you give up? Why don't you give up?" Super kick. I literally thought that should have been the finish. I literally wanted Shawn to win that match. But Kurt Angle, a wrestling machine, and you had Shawn Michaels Mr. WrestleMania. That was not just a catchy little nickname. When Shawn was Mr. WrestleMania, he was Mr. WrestleMania. There'll never be another Mr. WrestleMania. What about Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt Hell in a Cell? That ending was terrible. Okay. You know what? To be fair, yeah, that is the worst Hell in a Cell match. I retract that statement. Undertaker and Big Boss Man, yeah, it was bad, but it can't touch what Seth and Bray did because it ended in a no finish. How can you end a Hell in a Cell in a no finish? Oh my God, that is that's terrible. That is fucking terrible.
What ended in a no finish?
To be D, you remember Hell in a Cell, 2019, Seth Rollins, Bray Wyatt. Remember when Sir Cardinal?
I'm mad. Now I remember what you. Now I remember.
Remember we watched that and Sir Cardinal, good mic work, Joe Cronin, JD, everybody tore WWE's ass a new one.
Oh, it did. Absolutely.
God, that match was bad. And then here's the thing. How do you stop at a no finish? It's a freaking Hell in a Cell match. I mean, they didn't stop when Mick Foley almost died twice in Hell in a Cell. You didn't stop there. You didn't stop when... Okay, even though it was after the match, but still. Remember when Bossman was hung from the cell? That was the most scariest thing at WrestleMania 15. Is that the match when they hung Bossman shutters? That did scare me when I was a kid. When Bossman was being hung from the cell, I was like, to be honest, if you, me and D are gonna have to talk about that one off camera because it actually is a little bit deep.
Yeah.
I wasn't I'm not saying I was not a fan of that, but it was. Ooh, it was so uncomfortable. What's another Hell in the Summit? Hey, I know this is a wrestling talk stream. I want to get yours and Spotlight thoughts on Khalil Mack's comments about him still being pissed that he got traded from the Raiders. This is a D segment for me. This is, to be honest, he just wanted more money. I don't think he really wanted to leave. He just wanted to get more money. But at the same time, he had a nasty contract holdout. And I was shocked that the Bears, I woke up out of my sleep. You guys woke me up out of my sleep and literally told me that Khalil Mack went to Chicago. Holy crap. I don't know how D was feeling, but...
At the end of the day, I'm going to be honest with you, Goolie. I didn't want Khalil Mack to be traded, but Khalil Mack put that on himself to be traded.
I mean, you guys came out in a nasty contract holdout with Mack. I mean, you got the premium pick.
We contacted Khalil Mack, but he didn't want to do no negotiation at the time.
And then also, you guys got the premium draft picks to go with it for Chicago now. Now the ball is on y'all court now. If y'all, like I said, Damian Estrada, we're Bears fans. We're going to have to not only hate Packers games, but we're going to have to low-key have the Raiders literally have that season, even though I don't want nobody to have that season. Remember, the Raiders don't have a first-round pick. So if the Raiders and if it's possible, had like a top 5 draft pick, you don't know what could happen with that. And to be honest though, but yeah, like I said, that Khalil Mack holdout thing was but the thing that made me mad with Mark Davis was this. Even though you didn't want to get in contact with Khalil Mack and whatnot, but you still paid not only John Gruden, but at the same time you paid Khalil Mack, not Khalil Mack, God, what's his name? Antonio Brown. That really made me mad.
But we didn't pay Antonio Brown as much as what Khalil Mack wanted.
Like, and then also with the Amari Cooper thing. But when I was shocked that the Bears gave him that money. And you know the Bears are very cheap. They're all about the money in the family. They like to keep it all in the family. But for them to pay Khalil Mack that money, and it still amazes me, they still have our 2020 first round. No, we traded them 2 first round picks. We traded them 2 first round picks. No, Damon Estrada. They don't have a first round pick. The Bears have 2 first round picks going into next year. One's from the Raiders and one's from us. Remember, we traded for Khalil Mack 2 first round picks, and I believe, what was it, a 2nd round pick or a 3rd round pick to the Raiders. We get in return a 1st round pick, and we got Mack. And I think we got like a 3rd round pick from the Raiders. So yeah, that 1st round pick, like I said, everybody's gonna have to. Bears fans are gonna be watching a lot of Raiders games. I don't know how the Raiders schedule is, but
I'm gonna be honest with you. Let me mute you real quick. But as I say this, when it comes to Khalil Mack, John Gruden and Mark Davis reached out to Khalil Mack for contract negotiations. Khalil Mack ain't want to talk. Because he wanted a brand new contract and not a contract extension. That was the problem, because he was still under rookie contract. So, my problem with Khalil Mack is this. You held up at the wrong time, 1. Number 2, you made Mark Davis no choice to trade you, because you and your dumb ass didn't want to talk to John Gruden or Mark Davis. And number 3, even if you did still get paid all that money, we still needed needs on the defensive side. It wouldn't have mattered. We would have paid you all this money, and you still would have been ranked 26 to 27 to 30 in the league. Okay, so what are we paying you the money for? You're not a one-man wrecking crew. We still need corners. We still need safeties. We had the worst linebacking core in football. Hello? What you would have did? We wouldn't have got Max Crosby. We wouldn't have got half of these people without the Bears draft picks. So it's better for us. You there. We over here. Why are you still worrying about the trade? Get over it. That's what it is. You're a Bear now. Get over it. You're just mad because you playing in Chicago, where it's gonna be cold. We're playing in one of the best stadiums in football in Las Vegas. Thank you very much.
as a Bears fan, it cannot really touch Soldier Field, even though they fucked up Soldier Field on themselves. But this is how I feel about Khalil Mack. He's a hell of a player. And since Khalil Mack, here's the thing, and you know, everybody has put it in perspective for me. And it is true. The Bears were already a top 10 defense without Khalil Mack. The problem was they didn't have a real quarterback. They didn't have any wide receiver options. They didn't have nothing. But then when they got Trubisky in their second year, and then they gave him those weapons to play with, and then out of the blue getting Khalil Mack out of nowhere, like literally out of nowhere, that Bear defense became not only like number 10 from that season ago to like number what? They were what, the number 1 or number 2? I think they were number 1 in defense 2 years ago.
And that's what I'm saying. I feel as though he went to a defense where I know he could excel at. He could have excelled with us, don't get me wrong. But even with him leading the league in sacks, we were still ranked damn near at the bottom half in defense. It wouldn't have made a difference. Period.
We don't need a dome.
Why not? It's too fucking cold in Chicago.
That's the point. That's football. Oh my God! Wait a minute. Hold on. And it's Damian Estrada. Okay. ND. Okay. For a person who used to play football
It don't have to
when
be
he
a
was little,
full, it don't have to
I'd
be
rather
full,
play in the
It
cold.
don't have to be a full dome, but it could be a half a dome. Open
There you
dome.
go. A half a dome. Okay, maybe. But I'm sorry. I love it when the Bears play in the cold because they are like they're a totally different team when that weather when it's cold, and I mean it gets cold in Chicago because you're right by the Lake Michigan. Oh my God. Woo! You can see the breath and whatnot though. But my biggest thing, since we switched topics on this because we got a little bit of time, for football, my biggest thing for the Bears right now is can we get an offense that graduated from kindergarten all the way to freaking the NFL level of an offensive line? 2, Mitchell Trubisky. I saw that interview. I don't know if D did, but I saw that interview. He was pissed that they got Nick Foles, but he was pissed in a good way, not in a bad way. He said he found it as more motivation. And that's what I said before. You don't know when a quarterback is in like in a corner like that, especially Trubisky, because think about this. He is in a corner right now. Remember, the Bears are not going to. This is a year where he has to earn a max contract, which I don't even think the Bears have enough money to do a max contract. And also, before we start here, John L. Jackson, I think we're still going to get Survivor Series. What is up, Iverson Vlogs? Trust I know I live 15 minutes away from Soldier Field. Oh, yeah, Soldier Field is a hell of a stadium. It is no, like, they already mucked it up as it is. Remember, it was one of the like wonders of the world. Yeah, Soldier Field, one of the wonders of the world until they tried to rebuild the damn stadium. And then they messed it up. Like, taxpayers had to pay for that damn stadium for rebuilding and all. No. But to make a long story short, like I said, I still think Trubisky will have a good year. But he's going to have to pull some magic out of his ass the first 5 games. If not, Nick Foles will take over. And personally, he needs to go back to the Trubisky of 2018. And that was, if nobody is open, you got feet. God gave you feet. They could be slave feet. Run! Run! And to be honest, Trubisky is not a pocket passer. He is a mobile quarterback. He really is. If you think about it, he can run. When have the Bears ever had a mobile quarterback? No, I don't think any other Chicago team has ever had a mobile quarterback. Jay Cutler for damn sure was no mobile quarterback. Hell no. Hell no. Kyle Orton? Hell no. And that's why if Tyler Bray was the one to be for the offense, he's a shotgun passer. He's a shotgun. That's his favorite, is the shotgun. But anyway, that's my little 2 cents. I just want the Bears to make the damn playoffs so that way I won't have to be sitting at home crying watching other teams make it. Personally, for me, it's either going to be between the Bears or the Packers coming out of the North. Minnesota, God, I think D froze. So, yeah, D froze. Yeah, D froze. So, yeah, you got that going on. But, yeah, that's just, I don't know. But anyway, let's get some more. I'm still shocked that Soldier Field is still up after the earthquakes we've had. Oh, God. Soldier Field is like, even before Soldier Field was even made. Remember the Bears around like 2002 were fighting in Champaign, Illinois. The same stadium where the Fighting Illini are. Remember that? Because remember, like, Soldier Field was so messed up they couldn't even play. That looks cool. But, yeah. Well, D has some adjustments to make, but yeah, we kind of switched gears from wrestling to football because we basically talked everything about wrestling so far, everything that we wanted to accomplish for the show. We talked about Matt Riddle. We talked about AEW and NXT. We talked about potential matches for Extreme Rules. We talked about the greatest match ever. So we talked about football now. Wait, Damien, you live in Chicago? I've been to Chicago. Chicago's a beautiful city. It really is. And I remember my mother asked me this big question. And she said, would I ever move back to Chicago? Here's the problem with that. No. No, because Chicago, you can say what you will about New York City, but Chicago has a high alarming crime rate. And no, I'd rather stay in Indiana. And a lot of people really hate Indiana, but I don't really hate this city like some of these other Hoosiers or so-called Hoosiers that live here. I don't hate Indiana. I actually love the state of Indiana. I actually love Indianapolis, even though it doesn't love me back. I love Gary, Indiana, even though sometimes it doesn't even love me back. East Chicago, Indiana, same song, same chorus. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion with it. Like, I would not move back to Chicago. Granted, Chicago is a wonderful city. Just the weather is crazy. Yeah, Indiana is cool because of Lucas Oil Stadium and the Pacers Arena. It's called the Bankers Life Fieldhouse, but I call it is it Bankers Life? It was the Bankers Life Fieldhouse until back in the day it was called the Casinco Fieldhouse. But yeah, I mean the Pacers Stadium is actually a pretty beautiful stadium. It's not like big, but you can get a little lost. I've been to Lucas Oil Stadium, and oh my god, like the ground, it's great. It's a great little stadium. I remember literally racing and doing all of that for the new year, and being on the field was great. It was like I had like a big dream that WrestleMania. I was daydreaming. I was dating someone at the time, and we were on like the ground of Lucas Oil Stadium. We were on the field, and I was literally daydreaming, really daydreaming. Like my eyes were like diluted. She kind of had to snap me out of it, and she was like, "What was that all about?" Because she was like calling my name and whatnot, but I was like, you know, like when you're like daydreaming, you're like, you don't know, like when someone's trying to get your attention, like you're like deep into space, like it's like this, where will you go where I can't follow? That type of story. But at the same time, it was so unique for me to literally be, you know, on that field. And what I was daydreaming of is me wrestling in Lucas Oil Stadium at WrestleMania at the Grand Stage of them all. We talked about it later on, and she even and I told her, just think about it. You're on the field, Lucas Oil Stadium. Can you imagine? I tried to get her into wrestling, but that failed. And you know, but she thought about, you know, graduating, walking on the stage on it, which is cool. That was one of my biggest goals, to graduate high school. But yeah, so let me read some of these comments here. Now that the Raiders got Vegas, do you think people will get behind them more since people are behind the Raiders? How do you see more people get behind the Raiders? I don't even know. I don't even think the only team right now to watch in Vegas is the Vegas Knights, the Golden Knights. You know, Oakland is never going to forgive. They're never going to forgive them for moving. They're going to probably boo, like burn, like everything. I've daydreamed about WrestleMania coming to Ford Field again. See, like especially when you're on that field, When you're on like a field, if you're on a basketball court, when it comes to wrestling, you daydream about that. Because that's a dream. It's a dream, folks. So which title do you think Ali will be fighting now that he's on Raw? He's not going to fight for a title. Because Vince McMahon is going to make some bullcrap excuse. He's not entertaining. He's so vanilla. Da-da-da-da-da. He doesn't cut a good promo. Ugh. Here's the thing. Mustafa Ali can cut a good promo. He can cut good cinematic promos. Do something that he's good at. He's good at those type of promos. He's good on those. But if we were to be honest with ourselves, why not let him be with Ricochet and Cedric Alexander? It's possible you can get away with stuff like that. Like, that's just me. That's how I feel. That's just the way it is with me, and that's always ever going to be with me. Ever since I was 5 years old, I've been wanting to be in a WWE ring. I always wanted to step in the ring. Apparently, there's supposed to be a new, like, wrestling center in Indy, but I'm not too sure yet, but yeah. Okay, let me read a few more and then I'm going to cut out here. Remember Al Snow versus Big Boss Man, both steel cage match in Hell in a Cell. You mean the Kennel from Hell match? Oh my god, that was one of the worst matches ever. God, freaking Vince Russo. Oh god. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here on this wrestling show. I think Spotlight's computer just literally canceled out. I'm not going to play the Cedric the Entertainer song because I'm trying to let my phone, because I'm almost about to be on an important phone call later on. So I want to thank you guys for joining me here. I will be live tomorrow for SmackDown. And then also don't forget Saturday is the stream for Fully Loaded. So until then, God bless you all. I'll see you all again. See you all again tomorrow at 8 o'clock. Until then, God bless you all. Peace.